We need it.
Hello and welcome to Before We Break Up Again, a hit podcast featuring me, Alfie Brown, and her, Jessie Cabe. It's not actually a hit podcast, but we'd love it to be a hit podcast. So why not tell your friends, if you enjoy the podcast, that they might enjoy the podcast. On today's episode, we talk about Jessie's tennis career when she was ranked number 8 in the UK under 16s. We talk about her, how that might have affected body dysmorphia, eating habits, so be aware of that. Then the conversation moves into a little pause for reflection on the last week's episode in which we investigated the fight that we had that so many caught the imagination of so many of you. Thank you very much to everybody who commented on the last video. I've read all of them, and I'm pleased with the results. So thank you very much for listening, everybody, and have a fabulous time. This is Before We Break Up Again. There's the addition of a new piece of crap.
I have an idea.
Jessie's got a light bulb, or sort of a light bulb shaped light that sits on its, where it would screw into the ceiling, where a real light bulb has a smiley face on a yellow glowing bulb.
A freestanding bulb.
Why was this bought? Why did you think this was a necessary thing to bring into our lives?
It called to me.
Where did it call to you from? Temu?
A shop. A shop as I was walking past, and I didn't realise it was £30, and I went to the till and I then couldn't.
£30? Yeah,
it was £30. Really stupid purchase, but I love it. It does make me happy. So
is it going to have a function beyond just making the environment more pleasant?
Well, I thought it would be quite useful for Margot because at night she doesn't like the dark. So I thought it'd be quite useful for her.
Lights are brilliant for that.
But I think it's actually too bright it would disturb Donnie.
Yeah.
So there it is. It's just for us now. It's
I wonder if that affects the lighting setup that I've painstakingly curated for us.
I think it does. Shall I turn it off?
Sure.
Because it's still beautiful without the light on.
And you've got a blue orb in the background that wasn't there before. That's also contributing to the environment.
I think that's nice. Is that do you mean the environment? It's not bad for the environment. You mean our environment, our habitat?
Our environment. What's that? What's the story there?
That was sent to me by an OnlyFans subscriber.
Oh, right. Does that mean there's a blue light fetish?
No, it changes light.
It changes
different colours.
Right. So the idea is that you get it to illuminate your boobies.
No.
And then you have like blue boobies and red boobies.
No, why are you insinuating that I do booby stuff? I don't do any booby stuff, you.
No, I'm not. But what I'm saying is, why would somebody on your OnlyFans gift you a light?
Because on Throne, you can pick gifts you would like to receive. And I picked that because it's stunning.
Okay. Do you want to put car insurance on there?
I put laptop to write my second novel.
Nobody's bought that for you yet. Someone's
offered, but I think it's one of those fake offers. They want me to say, yes, please. And then they'll just never speak to me again.
Yeah. Does that happen a lot on OnlyFans?
Mm-hmm. A lot of weird ghosting.
Like a power thing.
It's all power. Yeah.
They want you to go, oh, yes, I want that.
I think it's some version of findom, isn't it? Financial domination, where you are desperate. And so you say, yes, I really want that. I'll do anything. And then they say, okay, well, I've got you now. And then they never speak to you again.
When did life get so hard that we decided that we didn't have the time to say the words financial and domination?
Findom is fun, though.
Well, I've never done it.
I think of a shark.
Have you done findom on your platform?
I think I'm doing it wrong. Have you
financially dominated people, or indeed been financially dominated by somebody?
Yeah, I think I've done it the wrong way round, which has kind of put people off.
Right, and what's that way?
Like, please give me some money. Help!
But there was the one man who offered you a job.
In his laundrette.
Yeah.
Yeah, for 80 grand a year.
That's him. That's a good laundrette.
I think he was lying.
Well, do you work in the laundrette?
No, I didn't go further with my application.
No.
Because that the whole point of doing OnlyFans is that I don't have a normal job. So if I go and work 9 to 5 in a laundrette, then really it's not worked out for me and with my goals of to be around more for the kids.
But But they might like to hang around in a laundrette.
They would, but I think this was in some like Corby or something.
Corby.
We can't travel to Corby each day for work.
Always had that down as more of a trouser press place than a laundrette place. But anyway.
I did one of my worst tennis tournaments in Corby as a teen.
As a teen?
But I remember getting pick and mix on the way back, so it wasn't all bad.
Which one of your family drove you there?
Only my mum, only ever my mum, obviously.
Well, it was once your dad.
Once my dad to one in Cheshire, and I lost 6-love. And it was the only time he's ever really seen me play. So yeah, that stayed in the memory bank.
Yeah, I imagine you remember a lot more about that occasion playing tennis.
Yeah.
Than you do many of your others. Was it because, were you especially nervous because he was there?
Probably subconsciously.
And do you think you chunked it because he was there? Or was this person just genuinely that much better than you?
No, I was a really good player, but I had a terrible mental attitude. So every single coach always said to me, you're really talented, naturally talented, physically. Like I'm an athlete.
I know.
Like she's got amazing style, technique, power, strength. She's got all the attributes to be a really good player, but she's mad. So if I started lose, and you've seen this with table tennis.
Yeah. Jessie and I like to go and play table tennis quite a lot. I played table tennis a little bit as a teenager and developed a rather fearsome, what I call fizz game, a swerve game. And Jessie can't deal with my fizz or my swerve game. No,
and the reason why we've never played proper tennis together is because you say words like that. I can't do that. So, and I don't think our relationship is strong enough for us to play tennis.
I think it is. We have a great time playing ping pong.
No, because you would win because I have such a bad
mental attitude.
Yeah. So what in the final bit of my tennis career, so I would have been 13, 14. I would lose every match 6-love because I would start losing and then I would just go for it. I would hit the ball out I would try and hit the ball over the fence and as far into the audience, as far away as possible, just to kind of make a show of it because I was losing anyway. I was obnoxious.
Did you not get reprimanded for that?
No one gave a shit. My mum was embarrassed. So I would hit it so far out and this is the worst bit that you're going to hate me for.
Mm-hmm.
I would grunt so loudly.
I don't mind that.
I would sing with my grunts.
Can you give us an example?
No,
of one?
it's too embarrassing.
I think you should.
There's a YouTube video called The Grunting.
That you took offline.
Did I take it offline?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I did.
You did.
Why? Why would I do that?
You took all of them offline.
I didn't. Did you try and look it up recently?
No, I just was there when you took it offline because we were watching Cool Like That.
Yeah. I took a few of them. I think I kept that one up.
Okay.
It was an extreme primal roar that you could hear. Everyone would stop and look, and it was so attention seeking. And at the time, I didn't marry up the idea that I wanted to perform and I was losing. In a way,
You're
it was
just a performer trapped in a tennis game.
Yeah. And then as soon as I quit, I made, this is awful, but I made my mum turn the sitting room into a dance studio and I would just dance all the time.
And this is not a big house, is it?
It wasn't a big house. It was the front room, the main living room.
And you did also have, at this point, 4 siblings?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she wanted me to follow my passion, which at this point was to become Britney Spears.
Yeah. Was your passion at all to the detriment of the other passions that you were cohabiting with?
Well, my 2 younger brothers were obsessed with video games. They were fine. My older brother, I think, maybe he was off somewhere else. He was always off somewhere else doing something.
Yeah.
And then my sister BB was my little friend who liked the fact that I was dancing in the studio. And then at night, they'd be allowed in with the beanbags to watch TV.
Oh, shit.
And then after that, they knocked through that wall. So it was one whole living room thing. And And then it was more equal. But for a while, it was my domain.
How long was it your domain?
Probably only about 6 months.
Okay.
But it was great. And then I found Pineapple Dance Studios and I would go there every
Did you have
week.
the trousers with the dangly bits on?
No, I didn't have the figure for that. You needed to be fucking skinny for those trousers.
Oh, right. And you can see like, was that from the era of pop music where the female singer would wear trousers that sort of reveal all of the pubis and only start covering up as soon as you reach the clit?
Yeah. I did that for a while when I was in my skinny era, but they didn't have the big pockets. I didn't want anything to chunk me out down there.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But I definitely showed a lot of stomach. Yeah.
You would have been very young, but yeah.
In my teen years, yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that maybe when you were destroying the integrity of the game during these tennis matches, that it was a like, fuck you for making me do tennis?
No, they didn't make me do it. I begged to do it because my older brother was so good. So I was dragged around to all his tournaments.
Oh, right.
So it was like a natural thing for me just to do the tournaments too.
So there was no point at which you resented having to play tennis?
No, I think when I was doing tennis and swimming,
right.
So I did county swimming and county tennis. I think I was probably exhausted.
Under 16s, number 8
under 14,
in the UK.
No, Alfie, I was not under 14 Middlesex County champion.
Yeah, number 8 in the UK ranked.
No, I love how so it's very sweet of you. I was pretty shit. I wasn't great. And I didn't grow. So when I got to about 12, it was obvious that I wasn't going to grow anymore. So I was kind of written off. So I was strong, but I didn't have potential to become a professional. And that became quite clear it's like footballers. Like if you're not already on your way by the time you're 12, 13, you're written off.
Yeah. Yeah. Or even younger. Yeah.
So but it really did help me develop a work ethic and a discipline, which hasn't been shaken. And that's why I feel really lucky. The gift that my parents gave me by doing such a high level of sport as a child was I realized the benefits of being fit. And it's just something that I've always been, and it's good for my happiness. And so I think when I look at our kids and I see the difference, say, between our oldest, who's just constantly moving and playing football and doesn't stop moving basically. And then I look at our daughter who would lie down all day if she could. It's because she hasn't found her thing. And I want her to find a sport because then I think it really does rescue you in a lot of ways.
Here's an interesting parenting quandary. If you've got a son like we do that is jumping, bouncing, like tapping, throwing a ball, outside playing football for 2 or 3 hours a day, you can only imagine running around at school, but apparently playing football in the school lunchtime. When he's going anywhere, he's usually running there, not walking. And then you've got another child. So for us, it's our daughter who is much more similar to me in the permanently sedentary department. Do you have to give him more food? Because like she goes, oh, why is my? Because you don't need as much. Like there is such a thing as like calories in, calories out. How much you need? Like he will not grow unless he has loads of food to fuel the insane amount that he's moving. Whereas she doesn't need as much because she's not moving as much. But then do you fuck them up about like food and food sizes and whatnot? If you end up going, no, you can't have that, but so what do you do?
Well, so as somebody who had a mild eating disorder, as anyone who went to an all-girls school had, and any actress still has.
Sure.
I think the mistake of my generation at school was that there was this myth that girls were naturally skinny, and some girls were naturally skinny and some girls are naturally skinny. And you're lucky if you're naturally skinny with big boobs, and you're lucky when it's actually all about movement and how much you're eating. It's really, I know you can be naturally skinny, But I didn't know about calories. I didn't know that if somebody explained it to me as simply as, if you eat that, you don't need that many calories. So you're going to get fat. If somebody explained it to me like that as a teen, rather than, you're just not lucky. You're just not lucky. Oh, you can't have that treat because you're not lucky. If they'd explained it to me in a much more logical way about numbers, I think it would have been a lot easier.
Yeah. I think that it is more easy to understand if you think about it in terms of, if it just becomes part of it doesn't become this mission that you're on, or this research-led adventure where you've got to watch a bunch of YouTube videos and get a planner and everything like that. If you just get into the habit of knowing that you don't overeat, which I do, so it's trying to get out of the habit of overeating. What you?
I don't think you overeat.
Well, I do. How did I get overweight?
Being sedentary.
Yeah. So,
but you overeat, and I don't think.
Yeah, I'm saying it's the combination of those two things.
Yeah.
I'm fucking still, and I'm fucking hungry.
Yeah, I think
it's a murderous combo.
I also think city kids are bigger because they don't have to move as much. Everywhere is so close. Where the school is 2 minutes away, the supermarket is 2 minutes away. They don't have to move very much. The park is 2 minutes away. Whereas when we live in Liverpool, hopefully we're all more active, unless we just get in a fucking car the whole time.
Well, yeah, but there's also a huge, wide ranging. There's a big open space, isn't it, where we're moving? Yeah.
So it should be a lot healthier in every single way. But my mission with how I parent our daughter, having come from years and years of hating myself and my body, is to be frank with her. Because I think my mum loved me so much that she was afraid of me. I think she was afraid of hurting me and upsetting me. So it would be kind of cryptic,
right?
How things were said. Whereas if she had been a bit more brutal, I would have resented her more in the moment, but I think I would have responded a little bit better. But also I think, again, our generation was slightly fucked by things like Diet Coke and...
What's wrong with Diet Coke? Sorry.
Sorry, that's a bit... Just, we didn't know the date. Now everything, you see Instagram videos pop up the whole time. It's like, you should not be eating these 3 things. You should not be drinking these 3 things. If you drink Diet Coke, you will die.
If you want to repair your gut, you need to eat an avocado, flax seeds, and
Do not eat a walnut without washing it the night before. Stuff like that. And my mum is now so aware of all that stuff. That wasn't existent when we were younger.
Yeah.
Health food is a thing now. Wellness is a thing. It wasn't really when we were growing up.
Do you think that there is a particular catalyst for your body dysmorphia eating problem that you suffered when you were younger? What was it that set you on that path? Was it media? Was it Britney Spears? Britney Spears in the Sometimes video, without a doubt. Could you jog my mind as to Sometimes?
She's in a white crop top, white trousers.
You're going to have to sing it.
Sometimes I run, sometimes I hide, sometimes I'm scared of you. But all I really want is to hold you tight, treat you right.
Be with you day.
She did this kind of movement with her hips, like a belly dance on the pier.
I remember now.
Okay, cool. And that video made me think, I wouldn't look like that.
Yeah.
And I think from then on, it was a mission to be Britney Spears.
Yeah.
And
that's subsided, that desire now, hasn't it?
It has. I feel bad for Britney.
What you need is to get 2 knives and do the big dance with the wild arms.
To be mean, I do a Britney dance for you.
You do, yeah.
And you don't like it. You can't look at her Instagram, can you?
No, I find it very upsetting.
It is really it's empowering though.
It's not empowering. she's gone insane. Why sugarcoat it? Why do we need to go like, oh no, but actually it's not everything has to be empowering.
But she couldn't post what she wanted for years, and now she's able to post whatever she wants.
Yeah, but that's not like necessarily a good thing if what she wants to do is like yes, you can argue that she's doing, you can frame it as if to say like, well, she's just doing her nice dances. Who is she hurting? And like, if she's happy, then that's great. That's all fine. I completely agree with all of that. Each to their own, whatever. But I think you can make a pretty good assessment of the situation and go, well, that person isn't totally mentally okay, are they?
Yeah. You didn't watch the documentary, did you?
No, but I think I'm not saying that she's an idiot or a dick. I'm saying that she's been mistreated by an industry, a litany of kind of shit men, her own family to an extent. I'm not saying that all these people were all great and she was just the culprit of madness and destruction. I'm saying completely the opposite, and that it's sad the way in which she's been mistreated by almost everybody who felt like they could make money out of her. And now, like, maybe I'm completely wrong and she's very, like, mentally switched on it and loves to just dance around wielding knives in her underwear.
No, I think that you're right, but she has come through the other side. She's doing this for her. She's free from her conservator thing.
Sure.
She lost so much time with her kids because they were kept away from her. And if you think of her like an animal, her babies were taken away from her. Yeah. And from what I've read and seen, she went mad. And I completely relate to that. And if that happened to anyone, I think they would start doing strange things. And now her kids are grown up. She's got the time. She's got the money. She doesn't have to do anything for anybody else. She can be free.
I think she might be having quite a nice time.
I think she's having a great time. You don't post videos like that if you're not enjoying yourself. No one's forcing her to do those videos.
No, you'd certainly hope not. Maybe it's all great then. And maybe it's just, also being mad might be quite fun.
I think these videos are her way of saying, fuck you for trapping me for so long and taking away my kids. Fuck you. I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah, maybe, but maybe not. This is the whole thing, is that we're left, thousands of miles away from her to speculate on whether or not, she's just going on her merry way.
Her sister went on I'm a Celeb, didn't she? And her sister went out quite quick.
Yes, who I served at Topshop.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, one of my most famous customers at the Topshop tills.
My most famous Urban Outfitters was Rufus Sewell.
Was it?
So I've seen a few times in my life, weirdly.
Oh, I bet you loved that.
No, why?
I thought he was going to be one of your most hot men.
No. Okay. I mean, I guess he's hot, yeah. But it's not like...
You didn't lose your mind over it?
No.
I served the handsome one from Westlife as well at Topshop.
Which one's the handsome one?
If you don't know, then I can't describe it any further. Huh?
Kian?
Well, there's two blonde ones who look like each other. So there's the one who looks like me.
Brian.
No, that's not.
Oh, you look like, what's his name? Brian. No,
not Brian. Obviously he's...
You look like Brian.
The one with the dark hair. Obviously I've got lots more hair and beard.
Mark.
I don't know what their names are.
His name's Mark.
I don't know what their names are.
Brian.
Then you've got the Shane.
Neil.
Stop. Okay, you're just saying Irish names now, aren't you?
Niall.
Anyway.
Nikki.
And Rihanna.
Nikki. You served Rihanna?
Yeah.
Fuck. During the umbrella phase?
No, during her Ponder replay phase. She was only 18. She was only 18 years old.
I love Rihanna. You know she's pregnant again.
Is she?
Their third baby in 3 years.
Is that what she's done to get you to love her?
Yeah, she's been really cool only in clips, obviously, but just about being a mum and how it's changed her life, and very positive motherhood, which is what I like.
I really embarrassed myself in front of her because she was asking to get one of the ties off the mannequin, and she kept on saying, "Can we get one of those ties?" And I went, What? One of those tears. Right, yeah, we can, but I'm so sorry, Rihanna, but could you just, one of those tears.
Don't do that again.
What?
Just don't do that again. But
I'm not sure that it's even a Bayesian thing, Barbadian thing.
Anyway, I love her.
I love her.
Okay. Well, yeah, so basically I think it was Britney, and it was the fact that girls could wear strappy tops and I couldn't.
Why couldn't you?
I could have. I just thought, oh no, I'm bigger than that. Do you know what it was? It was one holiday. There was we were in France. We were in France, and we were in this house in France, and this French girl, for some reason, came into our house, a tiny little French girl. And I mean tiny. She looked like a little pixie. Mm. And I think she was the same age as me, but she was half my size in height and width. And I remember looking in the mirror. For some reason, we were looking in the mirror together. And I remember thinking, I'm a giant. Why am I a giant? And I think that was another trigger. I must have only been about 7.
Yes. Yes, I remember when I was 8, my mum, when I was about 6, 7, 8, my mum started going out with a new man who then became my stepdad. I had 2 stepbrothers, and the one closest in age to me was Mark. And when I first met him, he was very pudgy. And not very pudgy, but he had, prepubescent puppy fat, I believe they call it. And there was one summer where suddenly he took his shirt off and it had all gone, and he was about 3 inches taller. And I went, right, that's what I want. When do I get to be? I also went for a piss with him, and his, there's that couple of years where your dick just quadruples in size. and he had like the man's dick, the sort of soft, broad thing, like a lamb's ear.
Right, okay.
And stop fiddling. Just don't fiddle because you got nervous because I mentioned a dick. Okay, everybody's got dicks, unless they don't and they have...
No, just saying broad. Just broad.
Because it goes from a little willy to a bigger willy. I don't need to know what his
dick is like.
It's like everybody's dick when they go from being like, it's an exciting thing that happens to you as a boy.
I'm so glad you don't call your dick a willy. I'm so glad.
Well, no, it goes from a willy to a dick. That's what happens in puberty.
Do you think any men call it a willy?
Yeah, there must be some. I'm sure there is some. I don't hang out with them, but there are some. I don't think any of my friends would go, oh, I've got my willy out. But also, depending on what you're doing with your willy. Like if I'm going to I wouldn't wave my dick at you. I'd wave my willy at you, but I wouldn't.
Wave your cock at me.
Yeah, but I wouldn't, like if we're in an intimate moment, say, get my willy out. No. I would say.
I don't think we really describe what we're doing as well. No. I don't think you've ever said, I'll get my dick out now.
No, because you can just see that I will get my dick out, and that's how you know. Oh, look, there's his dick. And then you go, that's what happened then. Communication can be a little bit more important if you don't know each other as well. But at the same time, I've never really enjoyed...
You don't like talking?
Well, I don't mind it. But I talk all day. I talk for my job. I'm always talking. I'm talking right now. I'd like to have a break from talking. Yeah. And I'd like sex to be one of the occasions at which I'm going, oh, thank God. Now it's just fucking and not talking.
Yeah. I've learned to just, not talk about admin.
Well, no, of course don't talk about admin. Obviously don't talk about admin.
I think early on I would commentate. I would say, oh, I'm doing this now, or I'm about to... Yeah. I would be funny. I try to be funny.
Yeah, that's just... But there was when we first got together, you couldn't do certain things without laughing hysterically. And you've gotten better at sort of enjoying the serious intensity of intimacy.
Yeah, I've got a lot better. Yeah.
Have I got better?
No, you've
regressed.
No, you've got a lot better. You just get better, don't you? When you know each other more.
Yeah. But you learn each other, to paraphrase John Mayer. We got a note in the, so there you go. That's tennis, eating disorders, and a bit of fucking to box off the first half an hour of the podcast. We got a message in our lift in the building where we live that said, please clean up after your kids.
They stuck it on the lift mirror.
And we are the only people with kids with access to this particular shaft, if you'll excuse the expression. And so it's addressed to us. I don't know do you have any inkling as to what we left in the lift?
We wouldn't have left anything. Well, I would never leave anything in the lift.
We quite clearly did.
No, but we didn't. There's no way. Like, what? There is just no way. They might mean, I don't know, some sticky stuff on the floor, which wasn't us, or I have no idea what they mean. And it's what's so offensive about this and aggressive is that they pinned it up. They stuck it up with sellotape on the lift mirror, which means that everyone else in the block would have seen this and everyone would know it was directed at us. And no one had the decency to take it off.
Well, it wasn't there about 6 o'clock in the evening yesterday. No, it wasn't there at about 7:30, 8 o'clock yesterday. It was there by 11 and it was down first thing this morning. So I'm not sure that many people would have seen it.
So, right, okay. Well, anyway, I've written underneath, whoever left this is extremely passive aggressive. Why blame kids? Horrible. And I've underlined horrible. And I think I've spelled aggressive wrong. And is it whomever?
I think you're fine. But I don't know about whomever and whoever. I think whoever is fine.
Is that how you spell aggressive?
Yes. Yeah, but also I don't know how to spell anything.
Right. Not
I don't know I think whoever is absolutely perfect.
I think it's whomever.
I'm not across that. And I think people who worry about that sort of thing are.
Well, until I know I can't stick it back up on the lift, I've got to make sure that's right.
I think we're just going to put up a sign that says, sorry, our kids have been leaving really passive aggressive notes in the lift. We'll try and stop them from doing this in the future.
Or I thought I could cut that out into a heart shape, what they've written, stick it back up with some cat stickers all around it.
And fuck off in brackets.
Should I do that? I think I might do that. I think some people would appreciate it, and I know exactly who left that. It's the fucking dick downstairs.
Yeah, of course it is.
Or it's the old men.
It's not the old men from above. The old men are nice.
Well, the guy who leaves...
They're very flirty.
They're not flirty with me.
No, because they're gay. And therefore you're not what they're after.
Yeah. I'm going to do that. I'm going to cut it into a heart. But what's great is that we only have 6 weeks left living here. So I'm happy to do that now. Whereas before I'd have been like,
Yeah. Now it's great. 6 weeks left. Fuck everyone.
Yeah. So we got 6 weeks to build a house.
And to do some interior design work. I don't know what I'm doing in the interior design department. I don't know how to make anywhere look nice. I've started using AI to put various colors. Like you can post a picture of your room into ChatGPT and say, could you use, and then you take screenshots of the colors that you want and say, could you do this color for this and this underneath the dado rail and this underneath the blah, 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 this on the ceiling, whatnot. And then it'll give you some estimation of what the room will look like. And I haven't managed to do it in a combination that doesn't look completely horrible yet.
Yeah. The problem with doing lots of separate things, so doing a dado rail or doing a stair rail, a banister, or a door frame in different colors, it can look quite gaudy. That's what I don't want it to look like. I really like the idea of doing it all pale pink.
Everything in pale pink.
Like everything, like an electric pale pink.
An electric pale pink.
Like not a pastel pale, but like a dusty pink. No, not dusty. Like this kind of electric pink. Like a really nice pink.
Like a really nice pink.
A really nice pink, the whole house.
Okay, I've got the kitchen. I decide the kitchen, don't I?
Yeah, until we have enough money to do a new kitchen, yeah.
Yeah, but it's fine. We don't not getting a new kitchen.
I want a new kitchen eventually.
No, and that's just a crazy waste of money.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. All I care about is the washing machine. All I care about is the cork flooring, the washing machine, and the bathroom working. So like being able to have hot water. That's all I care about.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, that's not very interesting for most people. Sorry. I thought what we could do now for the rest of the podcast is either read out the YouTube comments, which are quite funny and all very anti-Jessie, which I haven't read yet, but you told me they're all very anti-Jessie.
That's not fair, Jessie. That's not what I said. I said that some people agree with me, some people agree with you, but I can't remember explicitly asking for them to judge and sort of meet judgment. But they seem to like, you've asked us for your opinion. I think we did say like leave in the comments, but I'm not
you've
sure.
written who's right in this fight.
Yeah.
So that's what.
Is that what they're all?
Also, yeah, I feel like we constantly need to explain ourselves by saying, look, you're only seeing an hour of our relationship. So it's, yes, we seem like we're very combative.
Just go for it.
But we actually don't fight that much, to be really honest. Do we?
Well, one of the messages we had said, I completely buy that this is not the nature of your relationship and that you do have really nice times with each other. But I wouldn't mind hearing about some of those because from what I can tell from this podcast, this is the most toxic relationship I've ever been witnessed. Okay, so should we read them then?
This one I'll read first because this is pro me. Okay. Jessie should have communicated her wants more clearly before the night in question, but Alfie stayed out unreasonably late to punish her, which is unacceptable when it affected her work and her trust that the children would be looked after. That's exactly right.
But I stayed out unreasonably late.
Thumbs up.
I only stayed out unreasonably late. But you could have slept while I was out. And then in the morning I would have.
But I couldn't sleep without knowing that you'd be back by 4 a.m. so I could leave.
But of course I'd be back by 4 a.m. I think you've been very unfair.
I think you've been very unfair.
Wonder if it could be such a big deal if Alfie had been out with a male friend. Interesting.
Did we mention that it was her, a female?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Obviously. I can't believe that Alfie got back at 2 a.m. knowing that Jessie would be up all night before her big day. Sad face.
Thank you.
Thank you, Olia Reba USA 2 days ago. The not drinking at the wedding was mentioned on an earlier podcast. Jessie did say it was annoying.
What does that mean?
That means that it was right that you said, it's all very well you saying that you don't want me to drink, but you did say on an earlier podcast that you didn't, you'd prefer if I was drinking. Wow, what an episode. I have to say I'm 100% siding with Alfie and I actually feel really sorry for him. Jessie, you sound totally unhinged. Soz, pacts clearly aren't working for you guys. So we did this. So do you want to author this?
No, I want to read some more of them.
I'm not sure
I can only look at them with you here because I get too nervous looking at comments on my own.
Personally, if I had a one-off work commitment in the morning, my husband would definitely stay and let me sleep for it. It does depend on how often Jessie needs to do that. On the other side of it, to expect someone to be home at 9 p.m. is sort of unreasonable. Edit, sorry, just to conclude, I say you're both a bit in the wrong and both not.
That's nice. That's fair.
Why is it fair? Just because it's in the middle? Maybe the ones that think I'm just all totally right are fair. Just because you're sort of seeing both sides of it doesn't mean that there's... From what I've heard, Alfie is absolutely not in the wrong. Maybe it would be less interesting for the podcast, but I do think I need to hear some of the we get on great today stories because my main impression from this podcast and your Fringe show is this is one of the most toxic relationships I've ever encountered.
Okay, let's talk about some nice things.
Yeah, go on. What's your favourite thing?
That we're kind of addicted to each other and we love being around each other all the time.
I know, but the use of the word addicted there is
healthy.
Is a problem, isn't it?
Well, yeah, we are very. We like being around each other. Even if we're not around each other for a couple of hours, we deeply miss each other, don't we?
Yeah, we should actually. I think one of the things that would make our life a little bit easier if we were better at being separate. If we could, I don't think other people need to communicate as much as we do. Like they can just be apart and that's okay.
Because you do miss me as well.
Mm-hmm, I know.
Yeah. Because quite often I'm like, go and gig or go and you can do this or you can do that. And you're like, yeah, but I'd like to be in with you. I'd like to do that with you. You do want to be around me.
Yes, I know. You don't have to sell that.
I think people wouldn't believe that though. I think it's quite often people think that I'm trapping you.
No, I think you're riddled with insecurities about the way that this relationship presents itself to the
and
outside
everything
world.
else.
And you need to accept that perhaps this is great.
I think that we had a baby. We got pregnant on our first date, which was, yes, silly. But I think what it meant was that the second we started off on this thing together, this journey, which was when I was about 4 months pregnant, it was like we were already trying to keep this little ball alive that was in me, and then was birthed. And I think having a baby is such a, you can have intense relationships without having children, of course. But like, I think when you have a child, it kind of, everything is quite intensified because you both love this thing so much that you want to make sure it stays alive.
Yeah.
And so being apart, it was a bigger deal than if we didn't have a child. Do you know what I mean? So I think from day one, we've been addicted to being with each other as much as possible because we've also had to keep a child kind of, I don't know. I think having a baby changed from the beginning, having never not been in a relationship without a baby, really. I think that's made us have slightly skewed ideas of how much you should be together and how much you should communicate. Or
well, also, yeah, we never ever had any time apart from the moment that we got together, really.
Apart from when we were broken up.
And
I think that's the thing I found hardest about being broken up, which I would have got used to had we
stuck at it.
If we had remained broken up, is I couldn't understand what you were doing with your time if you weren't with us. And I found that really so deeply painful.
Yep.
But that's completely fine. It's only because I was like looking after 2 babies. It wasn't like you were free to a certain extent. So that's why, of course, I was wondering what you were doing.
Yeah.
Why are you scowling at me?
Because it's always framed slightly like that this is my fault or my choice.
No, it's not. How did I do that?
Like you were looking after 2 babies and I was free.
But I was looking after 2 babies, so I was...
I know, but that was only because if I... Fine.
You were fucking London. All of London.
I wasn't fucking all of London.
But you were.
No.
Well, you were fucking a lot of people, so it wasn't like you were missing me.
Well, I was missing you. I just wasn't... I was just fucking people as well. It's not... They're not mutually exclusive.
Yeah, but it was... I don't understand why you're annoyed at what I said.
I'm not annoyed about it. I just think that there's a particular way of... The use of the word like you... When you used to say you left us, I didn't.
You didn't leave us the first time.
No, it was just you.
The second time you left us.
No, I didn't leave you. I didn't leave... No,
you
plural.
left me.
Yeah, just you, not them. But of course it was both. But it's like, you make it sound like I wanted to get away from all of you. Whereas I think that was a really not a nice way to frame the breakup. Whereas it should have been framed, you and I were breaking up and we were going to work out how we were going to deal with that.
Yeah, but
rather than saying you left us.
But we were breaking up because you couldn't handle it. You couldn't handle it all.
Yeah, maybe.
So in a way you were choosing to be apart.
Well, I didn't choose you, pack my bag in, but yeah.
No.
That's by the by.
No, Alfie, let's not get into that because that's bad.
Okay.
You had led me to that point. You have done that. And you do that whenever you're unhappy, you always kind of, it's like you're just waiting for me to break up with you.
That's not true. I'm not doing that right now.
No, I know you're not doing that right now.
Yeah. So there you go.
Oh no, we're about to be too much.
Yeah, we're meant to be talking about those things. It's just more interesting for a podcast.
I love you so much.
I love you too.
Also, maybe it's because maybe the best relationships aren't also best friends.
I think they are.
Because you are definitely my best friend.
Yeah.
Am I your best friend?
Definitely top 5. Yeah, of course you are.
Okay, so say some nice things about me to show that I'm not fucking mad.
Well, I can't show that you're not fucking mad, but I can show that you're...
I am mad. Of course I'm mad. In lots of ways.
Everybody's mad. And mad is like, it doesn't mean anything anymore. People get offended when they get called normal.
Yeah.
Like, mad is not a pejorative. It doesn't have to be. I'm not going to sit here and just list your most positive qualities. You're very kind. You're very beautiful. You're very thoughtful. You feel my victories deeply and losses. And you are a caring and nurturing mother and person.
I think that we have to maybe put out some kind of statement to say this podcast is about the fights, so that people don't think that that's all there is.
But
because I do get quite upset when I see comments like that, because like there's just no way our relationship is toxic. We're incredibly functional. We talk through our problems. We incredibly loving with each other, affectionate with each other, only want the best for each other. Like there's just no way it's toxic in any way, apart from the fights, which we aren't very skilled, I think, at fighting.
Sure.
And we've got better.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Are you trying to say that you're skilled at fighting and I'm not?
No.
So why are you doing that face?
No, I'm just thinking about what you're saying and trying to think about whether or not it's true and whatnot. I mean, I think we fight appallingly, but...
Really?
Yeah, I think we fight appallingly. It's horrible. But I think everything else, whenever we're not fighting, it's completely idyllic. And
how do we fight appallingly? That sounds so extreme.
And I think we really, really make each other laugh, which is good. Lots of very good, silly, like constant laughing and good conversation and lots of affection, very affectionate and tactile, both of us. But we fight appallingly.
In what way?
Because it's unconstructive and angry rather than calm and logical.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
It's not that often as well.
It's not that often.
Yeah, so...
But it is what the basis of this podcast is, and it's a fun thing to disentangle in an environment where you can't be actively irate about it. That's the good thing about the podcast, is it forces you to be a little bit more logical, because you can't just be on here saying fucking joyless shit.
Yeah, true. Not that we would speak to each other like that.
Not anymore.
Yeah. Maybe I think that with more space and a slightly slower lifestyle when we move, I think that will change the game a lot as well with fighting.
And a Doberman.
I don't like Doberman, sorry.
Okay.
No. So it'll be interesting to see how the fights evolve when we're in a house.
It'll be great.
We don't have our own space. That's the other thing. So
yeah, I mean, any fights are sort of more understandable based on the fact that there's an incredibly claustrophobic environment that houses a great many people. As you can see behind us, it's not a great deal of space to have. If you're watching on YouTube, there's not a great deal of space to house all the many people that live in the flat. So it isn't as easy as you would hope, or that maybe some people have it in their living environment.
But also, we've been struggling for a few years. Like it's been a really, really stressful 3 years. The hardest point, the hardest things that you've had to ever deal with in your life have happened in the last 3 years. Not to mention the last 6 years of my life, since my brother died, and my kind of life being quite just changed. So I think that we've actually done remarkably well to not not fight more, especially in a small space, which is because of circumstance and because of financial problems and everything. I think that we've been quite resilient and able to kind of to keep going and to bounce back.
And lots of the time, the whole family, all of us, will start a conga line round the living room and we'll sing, "You don't win friends with salad. You don't win friends with salad." And everyone, all the way up from 3 years old to 38, will all be singing "You don't win friends with salad." And that's a highlight.
But the funny thing also is because we're so used to being in such close confines, like a number of times a day, we're all in the same space. Like if one of us goes to the bathroom, within 5 minutes, it's like we're lemmings or something. We follow each other. We're always just right next to each other, which is, I think, because we're just so, I don't know why. Why is that?
And as somebody who really enjoys stillness and quiet and my own space, there's been a real shortage of that recently. So I'm sure it will get easier.
You're incredibly adaptable. I think we're both quite adaptable. I mean, we've lived in 12 flats in 11 years.
Maybe I'm not adaptable. Maybe I'm just suffering. And it's the only option.
Yeah, it is the only option. It has been the only option.
But anyway, I'm going up to Liverpool today, going to get decorating.
Mm-hmm.
Going to get some bitumen paint.
Bitumen? Yeah,
it's a sort of rubber paint that I'm going to paint the exterior wall and sort of the corner where the wall meets the outdoor front garden bit. So when the rain collects there and pools, it doesn't cause damp in the basement.
Oh, that's good. And then you're going to meet a plumber as well.
Going to meet a plumber tomorrow.
A female plumber?
That's correct.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. I've never met a female plumber.
Well, I'll let you know what she's like.
The plumber came around here yesterday and I think he was the nicest plumber I've ever met. He was so nice. And he's called twice since.
Oh, yeah?
To check how it's going.
Yeah?
Is it still hot? And I've had to say, no, it's not. It's gone again.
Has it?
Yeah, it's gone again.
Oh,
yeah.
Fuck's sake.
I know. When it rains, it pours.
Cold water.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think this has been quite a lethargic episode. I think it's been shit.
I wish you wouldn't do that, Jessie. It's been a differently paced one.
I feel very exposed in this one.
I feel very, very ill.
I feel like people can see that I'm upset by those comments about how toxic our relationship is.
Yeah, well, you've also said it with your words. So I don't think people don't need to be able to tell, do they? They just need to be able to listen to what you're saying. You've said that you find it upsetting.
Well, I think early on when we started doing this, that you do have to kind of develop kind of a thicker skin when you're being this honest about we're being so honest about everything.
Yeah.
It's really scary.
And who we are to each other as well. And it exposes who we are to each other. And if there are any, I mean, I do feel in our weaker moments, we've watched Married at First Sight, as I think we've mentioned before.
Multiple times.
And there's always a very funny moment on Married at First Sight when somebody realizes, they go, oh no, I'm the problem. And they've got to go, oh shit, this is so humiliating. And there are certain moments where this will expose to either you or me that we are the problem. And that's a hard thing to reconcile yourself to.
I know.
But that's why it's also such a good thing to be able to do, is because the most important thing you can do, like, as I think I've said this to you, I can't remember whether I said this to you on the podcast or off it, but the only thing that is important to do, the only useful thing to do in an argument is to think about all the ways in which you might be wrong.
I can't do that.
Yeah, but you have to do that. And if you just in the middle of a fight went, okay, why don't you list to me how you think you could have done better, and I'll say what I could have done better.
How did you learn that?
And then we'll see how we both feel when we've gotten to the end of that little list. How did I learn that?
Yeah.
I have absolutely no idea. It just makes sense, doesn't it?
Okay, I'll try doing that next time we have a fight. Because I do agree. I think that the reason why I feel quite naked is because a number of people commenting on the last one saying Jessie's definitely in the wrong here. Jessie's definitely in the wrong here. It has hurt me slightly. genuinely thought everyone would be like, oh, no.
Yeah, I know. That's the funniest thing is that like you brought it up in the last episode as a big gotcha moment. Like, Alfie's not going to like this. Wait until everybody hears about what he's like. And then it turns out that, Alfie, I feel really sorry for you. I feel Jessie, you're a nutter. I feel deeply sorry. And that's obviously not all the comments. And obviously, you know, there's lots that I did wrong and Jessie did wrong. And
also, the people have been like, well, okay, fair enough. She had to get up at 4:30 for her big filming thing. The filming thing wasn't such a big deal. It turns out the scene I'm in, I'm basically going to be cut from anyway. And I'm barely on camera because the lead actress couldn't quite manage to do something, which meant that my scene will definitely be cut. So as I was filming it, after not sleeping the night before and being livid with you, which now I realize was slightly unfair, I did feel really silly filming it. I was like, it's not such a fucking big deal. Get over yourself. But it's because I get so few jobs. So really, I feel more exposed now because it's like, I really cared about that. I really was so excited about it. And I thought it would be such a big thing. And as usual, that when you actually get to do the job, it's always disappointing and humbling.
Yeah, well, that's kind of heartbreaking. And nobody's a bigger fan of yours than me. And I think you should get all the acting work because I think you're brilliant. Jessie's episode of Call the Midwife remains a classic.
So sweet. You should put that in the Instagram bio for this. Call the Midwife rather than Trolleyed.
No, Call the Midwife is like a respected, long-running BBC Two program. It's
Trolleyed is so popular, Alfie.
I know Trolleyed is popular, but it's also like a kitsch Sky One sitcom it's just a funnier thing to mention. I really believe that.
It looks like you're just quoting what I've been in. It doesn't look like a joke, whereas one episode of Call the Midwife.
Long-standing people like who have been long-time followers will know, and it's an Easter egg for them.
It's like when you tried to make my website for me, the jessiecave.com, which I don't know if I still own. You wrote
Jessie Cave Trolleyed Sky One.
No, you wrote Jessie Cave Dildo
Queen. And then Trolleyed Sky One.
And my mum, sweetie, who bought me that domain as a present, she said, darling, I think something's happened. And I think something's happened and it's been hacked. And I had to say, no, that was Alfie doing a joke and he didn't think anyone would see. And okay, can we end this now?
Oh, God. We need to work out. Okay, so for next episode, we're going to... let's get a list together of signs that you're in a toxic relationship and we'll go through them. We need to start... Me and Josh for our Formula One podcast, any crossover listeners,
there won't be.
Shout out. There are a few.
There won't be any.
There are 3 or 4. And
it's very good. You should listen to it.
You've never listened to it?
I've never listened to it, but I've seen you do a live one just before you broke up with me and left us, and it was great.
Josh and I send each other little bits and pieces throughout the week of Formula One news and whatnot. So I think we should start doing that with like relationship articles and
I have no interest in doing that.
You sent me a video.
A reel?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was just to be funny. I didn't think you would just talk about it so much since.
I just wanted to, I thought you were having a go at me.
No, I was saying good for you. You're right. This shows you're a proper man.
What did it say? Not
proper man. You know what I mean? It was that was the feel of the Instagram reel was that if you're a proper man, when you fight with your girlfriend, she fights like a child.
No. If she treats you, if she's like a child with you, it's because you're a man. If she's like a mother with you, it's because you're a child.
Boy. You're a boy, yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck is...
Because you always say I fight like a child, and then I was like, oh well, if I fight like a child, it's because you're a man. Good for you.
No, but that's not. I think there are loads of circumstances in which I am like a child with you, and loads of circumstances. I think a balanced relationship is not. I don't know why, but I hated the reel so much because it plays into that idea of like old school traditional masculinity being something that we should chase after, and these rather narrow ideas of gender and behavior that I think has asphyxiated everybody's perception of what it is to be anything, and means that everybody has these rather prescriptive ideas of gender, and everybody now thinking that being masculine, if you're a bloke, is the best thing that you could conceivably be. And that's essentially, that mania has destroyed Western democracy, or is on the route to.
Yeah, I knew you would feel like that, which is why I sent you the reel as a kind of like, ha, this is funny.
Oh, right.
And you've overthought it as usual.
I can do that.
Yeah. I thought what would be quite funny is to look at Esther Perel's reels, because she is incredible.
And we need to watch the new series of
Couples Therapy.
And
we could kind of dissect some of her reels. But also I was thinking, in a dream world, say if we were able to have someone into this flat and it wouldn't be too weird, we could have an actual couples therapist.
Yeah.
Talk to us and see how mad we are.
Can we try and get Philippa Perry involved?
Do you know what? We know her. She would probably be up for it.
Okay. So thank you very much indeed for listening, everybody. No,
she wouldn't be up for it. Sorry, Philippa. That's very arrogant of me to say that you'd be up for it. Sorry, Philippa.
Long-term listener, Philippa Perry. Yes. So enjoy your weeks, everybody. Enjoy your weekends, and have a lovely time. This has been Before We Break Up Again. If you are not subscribed to the YouTube channel, but you're watching on YouTube, or even if you're not, why not subscribe to the YouTube channel? Follow us on Instagram.
Or my OnlyFans.
Share one of the reels. Recommend the podcast to a friend. Go and have a wank over our OnlyFans if you're into Wet Hair Wednesdays or whatever it is coming up. What have we got coming up? It's Friday.
Surprise Sundays.
Friday. What Friday is the Friday?
I won't say.
Follicular Friday.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll write that down.
Okay.
Go on, finish it. Get it done.
Main Mondays, Top Knot Tuesdays, Wet Hair Wednesdays.
Oh my God, this is great. Stop sharing all the ideas.
Okay. This has been Before We Break Up Again. Please tell your friends. We need it.